Hi, my name is Matthew Staman. I'm with Huron Consulting Group, and I wanted to bring today 3 things that I often hear organizations talk about after they've implemented a system that they wish they'd known up front. One is that implementing the system is more important than picking the right system. So we see organizations spend a lot of time and energy figuring out what's the right system for our organization, and that's an important question to ask, but sometimes they spend so much time on that they don't spend enough time thinking about how we're going to make sure that when we implement, we're going to do a good job at it and that we're going to get what we need out of it. And so I more often see suboptimal results from a failure to implement effectively than the system itself. I think the second is that organizations spend a lot of time, energy, and money implementing new systems, and they sometimes don't get as much out of it because they think about, I need to take the system, automate everything we're doing today, and electronify, as one of my clients said, our current processes, rather than taking the opportunity to think about how can we do things differently? How can we make sure that we're rethinking our processes and our objectives so that we're getting the most benefit out of all this effort we're putting into a system? The last thing I often see organizations do after the fact is say, I wish we hadn't built so much complexity into the system. And this relates to trying to automate how we do things. But when people get a new IT tool and it can do lots of things, they think, wow, IT magic can solve all these problems we're having. And they build a lot of things into the system that end up causing different constraints and different challenges later on. So I tend to think about, let's start with what are we really trying to do with the system? What's a system problem as opposed to a personnel problem or a policy problem? And let's solve those problems. If we can add stuff later, that's great, but taking stuff away because it turns out it's too complex is more difficult. So let's start with doing the simple, most important stuff first, and then later add bells and whistles or even important configurations as we have time.